Welcome to the class 8 students. This is the continuation part of the chapter reproduction in humans. In my previous video, I have discussed the male reproductive system, the parts of the male reproductive system and how this human sperm looks. I hope all the parts of the male reproductive system, their location, their function, everything is clear to you all. Today, I will move on with the female reproductive system. Okay, so let's start with the different parts of the female reproductive system. I will show you a picture just like how I explained the male reproductive system, and I will explain each part. Okay students, the diagram that you can see here in figure number 3.4 in your book, page number 34, is the diagram of the female reproductive system. Okay, so you need to practice this diagram for the questions of diagram also, but I am showing you this diagram right now to explain the different parts of the female reproductive system. Okay, so the components of the female reproductive system are a pair of ovaries. As you can see, a pair of ovaries on each side of the uterus. It is marked here. The fallopian tubes, these are the fallopian tubes. Okay, and the uterus. So this is the uterus. So what are the main components of the female reproductive system? A pair of ovaries, the fallopian tubes, which are also known as oviducts, and the uterus. Okay, now we will discuss about each part in details. First one is the ovary. The ovaries are almond sized. Almond means you all know what almonds are, the dry fruit almond, right? So the ovaries of a human female are almost the size of an almond, and they are shaped oval, and they are also a gland. Basically, you all know that they are mixed glands, and that means they have the functions of both endocrine and exocrine glands. Both testis and ovary are mixed glands. Okay, so they are almond shaped oval sized glands situated in the pelvic or the hip region of the female body. Now their main function is to produce eggs or ova. The mature eggs, means the eggs, when they become matured, they move through the funnel shaped muscular tubes called the fallopian tubes towards the uterus. So basically the egg is produced within the ovary, and as the eggs become mature, they go in this way through the fallopian tube towards the uterus. But basically they don't go towards the uterus until they are fertilized. Basically they wait here in the fallopian tube for the sperm to come and fertilize it. Okay, so these fallopian tubes or oviduct are basically the exact location of fertilization in human beings. And what are they? They are basically funnel shaped muscular tubes which originate from the uterus and continue till the ovaries. Okay, the uterus, now talking about the uterus lies in the lower abdomen behind and above the urinary bladder. Okay, the uterus is a hollow and muscular pear-shaped organ. It is a hollow, since you can see nothing is inside it, so it's a hollow muscular pear-shaped organ. It is in the uterus that the zygote develops into a baby. So as I said, that the fertilization between the sperm and the ovum, the fusion takes place within the fallopian tube, where the ovary is waiting for the sperm to come. The sperm will come in this way and go into the fallopian tube and fertilize it. So after it has been fertilized, this fertilized ovum, which is now a zygote, they will come in the uterus and will implant itself anywhere within the uterus. Okay, and now it will start developing into a baby. The lower part of the uterus is known as the cervix. So this part of the uterus is known as the cervix. The cervix is narrow and opens to the outside through a muscular tube known as vagina. So this is the whole of the uterus, and the narrow lower part of the uterus is known as the cervix. Okay, and this cervix opens into the vagina. The vagina receives the sperm. As I said previously also, the sperms from the male reproductive system are deposited within the vagina of the female reproductive system. This vagina also serves as the birth canal through which the mature baby is delivered. So through the vagina the sperm enters into the female body, right? But this vagina also performs as the birth canal through which, now here the zygote is implanted, and it is developing as a baby. Now when it is a full grown baby after 9 months, it needs to be birthed, right? It needs to come out, so it will come out through the vagina only. So it is also known as the birth canal. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. I will continue with the next topic now. So students, I hope you have understood the organs of the female reproductive system clearly. You need to have a clear concept of the different parts of the male and female reproductive system. Then only you can understand the next topics that I'm going to talk about. Okay, so the next topic in your book that I'm going to talk about is ovulation and menstruation. Now these two terms, I hope both of these terms are new to you, so I need to explain these terms to you first. Look at your book first. The release of a mature egg from an ovary is known as ovulation. So every month, any one of both of the ovaries, there are two ovaries, right? This is the uterus, this is the fallopian tube, and there are two ovaries. So every month, any one of the two ovaries will produce one egg, and that egg will go to the respective fallopian tube. If this ovary produces egg, it will go to this fallopian tube. If this ovary produces an egg, it will go to this fallopian tube and wait for the sperm to come and fertilize it. Now this release of the matured egg from the ovary is known as ovulation. So ovulation, what is ovulation? The release of a matured egg. The egg is not matured right when it is produced, right? So it needs time to get matured. So the release of a matured egg, only when an egg is matured, it is released from the ovary and it reaches the fallopian tube. So the release of a matured egg from an ovary is known as ovulation. Clear? Normally one egg is released from one of the ovaries every month, just what I said. Generally what happens, one egg is released from either of the two ovaries every month. Suppose it is a random process, no one knows which ovary will produce the egg in the next month. Okay, so female have a 28-day long reproductive cycle. So basically females, when they become reproductively matured, that means after you have learned in health and hygiene, after adolescence, after puberty, females become reproductively matured, and every month, more or less, since it is a 28-day cycle, since it is 28 days and our month is 30 or 31, so it is considered as a month-long cycle, more or less. So the females have a 28-day long reproductive cycle called menstrual cycle. Okay, so let me write here. The name of the cycle is menstrual cycle. The cycle is of more or less 28 days. Since human beings, we are human beings, different female bodies are different, so it is not exact 28 in everybody. 28 plus minus 2 or 3 days. Okay, so what I was saying, that in females every month a 28-day long reproductive cycle goes on. That cycle is known as menstrual cycle. Okay, ovulation generally occurs on the 14th day of the cycle. So basically, suppose this is the cycle, 28-day long cycle. Okay, This is the midpoint, which is 14. So at the middle, right at the middle of the 28-day long reproductive cycle, which is the 14th day. So if this whole thing is 28 days, so the at the middle, what will be? It will be the 14th day. So on the 14th day, ovulation occurs. Now, what is ovulation? I said already, the release of the matured egg from the ovary is known as ovulation. So that happens on the 14th day of the 28-day long reproductive cycle, which is known as menstrual cycle. Clear? Before the release of the egg, the inner wall of the uterus gets thickened with an increased supply of blood to receive the fertilized egg. Now, let me draw it here. You saw that the uterus looks like this, right? And here the fallopian tube continues this way. Now, ovulation occurs on the 14th day. Before ovulation, for the first 1 to 14 days, on the uterus, different layers of tissues start forming. Okay, why? Because the uterus is trying to make itself or change itself in such a way that if fertilization occurs, zygote will be formed, and then the zygote will come into the uterus to get implanted. So basically it is trying to change itself in such a way that it is well equipped for the baby to grow. Okay, so what does it do? It forms layers of tissues on its inner walls to make a bed-like structure for the growing zygote. Okay, see, I am reading again. Before the release of the egg, which is on the 14th day, the inner wall of the uterus, this is the inner wall of the uterus, gets thickened. How? By the deposition of tissues with an increased supply of blood to receive the fertilized egg. So increased supply of blood occurs on the inner wall of the uterus, and as a result more tissues are there, which forms the inner layer of the uterus quite thick, and this helps to receive the fertilized egg, and thus the egg will come here and get implanted here, and thus will grow here safely. Okay, so if the egg is not fertilized, so this is everything that happens if the egg is fertilized by the sperm. Now, if the egg is not fertilized, what will happen? Okay, so we will talk about that in the next video.